Okay, in the last session we discussed till the structure of neuron. I guess Shreya got disconnected in the middle. Panchami was absent for the class. Only Rihan was present for the class. Guys, please maintain consistency. Otherwise, I will call. If you got any problem in between, just message me in the group. I'm only your mentor. You know the WhatsApp group. Okay, na? Fine. So before, if you have any classes, some of you will go for your hobby classes. So ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ಮೀ ಯು ಇಂಟಿಮೇಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯೋರ್ ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಯೋರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಅಥವಾ ಇವತ್ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಜೆ ನನಗೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಅದರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಿ ಶ್ರೇಯಾ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಪಂಚಮಿ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ರಿಹಾನ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ತರ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್. Okay, I request you guys to please intimate if you want any leaves so that I can tell the reason for the other faculties anta. So at last end of the day meeting ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ absent ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ what will be the reason? ನನಗೂ reason ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ what is the reason ಅಂತ. Okay ನಾ? Will you agree for this? Okay, thank you Shreya and Rihan. Fine. So in the last session ನಾವ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ? ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ವರೆಗೂ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹ್ಮ್. Passage of Rihan, just check whether you wrote this flowchart of nerve impulse. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಆಗಿದೆನಾ ಅಂತ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡು. Okay. So what happens here? This is a structure of neuron. Dendrites ಇದೆ. This is called a cell body or a cyton ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ. Then you have this cell body. This sheet which is called as axon. This is a fiber. This is the longest fiber ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. The axon will be covered by a sheath which is called myelin sheath. Then the terminal ಅಂದ್ರೆ end of the cell is called as axon terminals. This is a structure of neuron. By the way, how was your exam? Whether all of you attended exam on Sunday, guys? Rihan, Panchami and Shreya, exam attend ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ ಸೈನ್ಸ್? ಬಿ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್. ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ, ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಬಿ ಫ್ರಾಂಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಮೀ ನೋ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. ಪ್ಯಾಸೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ನರ್ವ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ಹೇಗ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೌ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್. ಅನ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಪಾತ್ವೇಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ from one neuron to other neuron, the impulse will transfer in the form of electrical charges. Okay, around like across the cell membrane. Okay, then what happens here? Here is a flow chart where you can get to know stimulus. For example, let us okay, Shreya. So stimulus ಇದೆ. Stimulus ಅಂದ್ರೆ let us consider a hot water vessel is there. ಅದು stimulus. Hot water is a stimulus. Receptor. Suddenly you touched your hand. ಕೈಯಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ. Okay, what happens here? You have to suddenly take off your hand because it is hot. So ಹೇಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ that you have to take off your hand ಅನ್ನೋದು ಈ ರೀತಿ. This pathway will be formed. Receptor is your skin. Dendrite of sensory neuron. Dendrite of sensory neurons will be present. So that will detect from the receptor. Then it will go to cell body. Exonic ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Exon in the synapse. Synapse ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Just a minute. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, fine. Attended. Panchami attended the test. What about Rihan? Why you did not attend, Rihan? What is the reason, Rihan? Okay. So see here, stimulus receptors, dendrite of sensory neuron. So dendrite of sensory neuron will go to the cell body to the axon. Axon andre ee riti. Axon, you know na? So this is a axon body. After axon body, it will go to axon terminals. Axon terminals ಗೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ like this. Just a minute, where it is. Huh. So this the junction between one neuron and another neuron. ಈ junction ಗೆ meeting point ಗೆ synapse ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So like this, the information will be passed to all the neurons. ಎಲ್ಲ neurons ಗೂ ಈ ರೀತಿ synapse ಮೂಲಕ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ information pass ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Then dendrite of other neurons, cell body, again various neurons will get this information. Finally, it will go to central nervous system. Central nervous system ಏನಿದೆ brain and spinal cord. Then it will go to dendrite of motor neuron. ಎರಡು ತರದ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ which will sense, motor ಅಂದ್ರೆ which is a effect, which will affect further after receiving the sense. So dendrite of motor neuron ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. After dendrite of motor neuron, it will go to cell body, axon, then effect. Effect ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, you will take off your hand. So this all will occur within milliseconds. ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟು ಅಥವಾ ಪಾತ್ವೆ ಯಾವಾಗತ್ತೆ, within seconds ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Right? See how speed our nervous system is, ಅಲ್ವಾ? So this is regarding the flow chart of nerve impulse. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ what is a neuromuscular junction ಅಂತ? What is this neuromuscular? See, neurons will be present here. Here will be your muscles. Suddenly ಹಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ನ್ಯೂರೋಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗಿವೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. The neuromuscular junction is a synaptic connection between terminal end of a motor nerve. Synaptic connection. ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾನ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಗೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಸಿನಾಪ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಟರ್ಮಿನಲ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅ ಮಸಲ್. ಯಾವ ಮಸಲ್? ಸ್ಕೆಲಿಟಲ್, ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾರ್ಡಿಯಾಕ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಗೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ನ್ಯೂರೋಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್. What it does, it is the site for the transmission of action potential from nerve to muscle. From nerve to muscle. Sudden ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಕೈ ಬಿಸಿಯಿಂದ, I mean, when you are removing your hand by touching the hot pot, so how the muscles in your hand will coordinate, that is by the motor nerves and the muscles. Okay, now within 1 minute you have to write this. ಒಂದೇ ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ದ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್. ದ ನ್ಯೂರೋಮಸ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಜಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್. ಇದು 2 points you have to write. Be fast. Within 1 minute you all should write this. Okay, Rihan and Shreya, but from the next this one you have to attend. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ this exam was for 50 marks. ನಿಮ್ ಮಿಡ್ ಟರ್ಮಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ 50 marks ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? You did not attend. You both did not attend due to some silly reasons. Fine. Shreya and Rihan, today in the WhatsApp group, I will be uploading the test question paper. Listen carefully. I will be uploading the test question paper. Ivattu Wednesday. On Friday, I need your test papers. Will you do it, guys? Friday ನನಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು. ಶ್ರೇಯಾ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಹಾನ್. Okay. Okay, Shreya, you submit it by Friday. Rihan has FA2 exam. Write it, guys. Write it fast and let me know once you complete it. Completed? Panchami completed. What about others? Okay. So the neuromuscular junction, it is a site for the transmission of action potential from nerve to muscle. What is next? Idar bagge human nervous system regarding it we already learned. Then after that, structure of brain. Yeah, very important. Structure of brain ge bandaga, our brain is divided into three parts, guys. Forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Brain is divided into three parts. Fore, mid, hind. FMH. Right. So let us study about these parts. This is the structure of a brain. Midbrain you can see here. Forebrain you can see here. This is a cerebrum, hypothalamus region, pituitary gland, which is called a master gland, pons, medulla, hindbrain, cerebellum, and brain stem. Okay, Rihan. Fine. Next, forebrain ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Forebrain consists of cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. What will be there in the forebrain? Forebrain ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ front brain ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? I'm sorry. Yeah. So ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? The brain includes cerebrum, thalamus, and hypothalamus. So when you see here, cerebrum, hypothalamus, and thalamus. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ regions ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿದೆ? Forebrain ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. This is a thalamus, guys, a brown color patch. This is a hypothalamus, a below part, bottom part of a thalamus, and this is a cerebrum. Right, let us see what is the function of it. It is the main thinking part of the brain and controls the voluntary action. So forebrain ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದೆ, a thinking part of the brain. Voluntary actions andre the actions which are in our control. If I am thirsty, I am going to drink a water. Okay, I am all suggesting you something. Okay, you also responded. So voluntarily ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದ ಹಾಗೆ are you chatting with me? No, you know that voluntarily, right? So voluntary actions will be done by the forebrain. The forebrain processes sensory information that is collected from various sense organs. It is because of the forebrain humans are placed at the highest level in the animal chain. Animal chain anta bandaga, we humans are at the top. It is due to the forebrain. And forebrain has a capacity to receive the information from the sense organs. Okay. Then when we come about the cerebrum andre enu? It is a part of a forebrain. It is the biggest part of the brain. Very important for the multiple choice question, guys. Which is the biggest part of the brain? Cerebrum is the biggest part of the brain. This part we associated with higher brain functions. ಈ part ಎದರ ಜೊತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ associate ಆಗಿದೆ? With which it is coordinating the brain functions as thinking as well as actions. It contains what it has: cerebral cortex and other subcorticular structures. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ cerebral cortex ಇದೆ, cortex region ಇದೆ, the layer, the end layer, boundary ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, which is called cerebral cortex. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ medulla ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Then the cerebral cortex is highly wrinkled and makes the brain very efficient. As you can see our brain alva, see the folds. ಈ folds ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? These are nothing but the wrinkles in the cerebral cortex. Okay, so that makes our brain very advanced, very efficient anta. Now the cerebral cortex again divided into four lobes. ಈ cerebral cortex ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದೆ, this region is there, no? So this will divide into four lobes. ನಾಲ್ಕು ಭಾಗಗಳಾಗ್ತವೆ, four regions ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅದು. Frontal lobe, it is associated with speech, reasoning, problem solving, planning, movement and emotions. Front lobe, front region. Parietal lobe, we associated with recognition, orientation, perception. Side ಗೆ. Occipital is responsible for visual processing. ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧವಿರುವ ಅಥವಾ whatever we see, that one. Temporal lobe, finally temporal lobe is associated with memory, speech, perception, means whatever I am speaking you are understanding na, that is done by temporal lobe. So the cerebrum is divided into two halves. Okay, ಡೀಪ್ ಫರೋ ವಿತ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಫರೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಲೇಯರ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಡೀಪ್ ಫರೋ ಒಂಥರ ತೆಗ್ಗು ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದೀಸ್ halves ಆರ್ ದ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್. ಈಚ್ ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ಈವನ್ ದೋ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸಿಮೆಟ್ರಿಕಲ್. ಎರಡು ನೋಡಕ್ ಸಿಮೆಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಅವರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಬೈ ಅವರ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿವಿಟಿ, whereas the left hemisphere relates to logic ability. If your left hemisphere is active, logic abilities, you are good in math. Okay, na? If your right hemisphere is more active, you are good in creativity. Right? And corpus callosum connects two hemisphere. ಎರಡು ಭಾಗಗಳನ್ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು? Corpus callosum ಅನ್ನೋ part. Next, we have the midbrain. The midbrain connects the forebrain and the hindbrain. It acts as a bridge between two brains, that is forebrain and the hindbrain, and transmits signals ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ hind brain ಇಂದ forebrain ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ forebrain ಇಂದ hindbrain ಗೆ. It is associated with motor control. Motor control means muscles control by taking off the hand from the hot pot, right? By sensing the rain. So motor control ಏನಿರ್ತವೆ. Okay, vision, hearing, temperature regulation, that is this one, alertness. So this all will be done by midbrain. Hindbrain ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it consists of again three parts, guys. Cerebellum, pons, medulla oblongata. ಅದೇ ಇದು forebrain ಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ cerebrum. What all you see? Cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. Then hindbrain, cerebellum, pons, medulla oblongata. Cerebellum ದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? It coordinates muscular activity and maintains posture of the body and the balance of the body. Some of the times you observed ansate in your family or in your relatives, in your friend circle, someone who got that paralysis anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Paralyzed ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, paralysis. In the common language they will tell lakwa ಹೊಡೆದಿದೆ ಅಂತ. So what is that? They will usually the threat happens or something happens to the cerebellum where the balance of the body will be not maintained. So ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿರತ್ತೋ ಸೊ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. You can see that some of the elderly people, if they cross around 60 or 70, so around 40 or 50 ಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ 60 or 70 ಗೆ they can't walk without any help. So ಹೀಗೆ ಅವರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುವಾಗ they feel that they will fall like. So balance ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So usually cerebellum will be affected at that time. Pons ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it connects cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla oblongata, which is a structure which connects cerebrum and cerebellum. Cerebrum is a forebrain part. Cerebellum is a hindbrain part. ಈ ಎರಡನ್ನ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು? Pons. It acts as a relay center among different parts of the brain. Next, medulla oblongata ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ it is a small structure present in the lowest region of the brain. It mainly controls body's autonomic functions such as heartbeat, which is not in our control. Involuntary actions ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವುದು? medulla oblongata. If you say your heart to stop, ಒಂದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ will it stop? No, because it is a involuntary action. So this all will be controlled by heartbeat ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, breathing ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು, digestion ಆಗಿರಬಹುದು. This all will be controlled by medulla oblongata. It plays a primary role in connecting the spinal cord, the pons and the cerebral cortex. So ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು? medulla oblongata. Next, how is the brain protected? The very vast and a very what you can say unique function ಇರೋ ಈ ಬ್ರೇನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, This will be protected by the bones of a skull. Usually bones of a skull ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ಬುರುಡೆ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೊ ಅದರ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಇದು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಆ ಬೋನ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ, ಆ ಸ್ಕಲ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ it will be having three membranes ಅಂದ್ರೆ layers, which is called as meninges. Very important guys, competitive exam allu keltare. In your 10th standard also they will ask in the competitive like IAS, KAS as well as other competitive exams of government and also of becoming IISc ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ದ layers of a brain are called as meninges ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. The brain is also cushioned and protected by cerebrospinal fluid. Cushioned ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, what you can say, a warmness, a soft nature, a soft environment will be provided by the brain, for the brain by a fluid. ಒಂಥರ fluid ಇರತ್ತೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ cerebrospinal fluid ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. This watery fluid is produced by special cell in 4 hollow spaces in the brain which are called ventricles. Okay, now fine. Okay, now just I will move the slides. Okay, just go on glancing at the concepts. I will ask the questions, you have to respond through the chat box or through the mic. So the forebrain, it consists of 3 parts: cerebrum, thalamus ಮತ್ತೆ hypothalamus. Forebrain, cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus parts ಗಳಿವೆ. Forebrain, the main function is thinking as well as voluntary actions. Thinking ಮತ್ತೆ voluntary actions ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, forebrain ಇಂದ. Next we have a cerebrum ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ it is mainly involved in thinking and taking the sensory information ಅಂತ. It is the biggest part of the brain. Which is the biggest part of the brain? Cerebrum. Next, midbrain anta bandaga, which connects forebrain and the hindbrain, and it acts as a bridge. Yaudr naduve forebrain matte hindbrain naduve bridge agi act agatte. It controls vision, hearing, temperature regulation, alertness, etc. Adadmele hindbrain ge bandaga, the hindbrain has 3 parts again: cerebellum, pons, medulla oblongata. Cerebellum ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, it maintains our posture and balance of the body. Pons ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, acts as a relay center. Medulla oblongata controls involuntary actions. This is regarding the hindbrain. Next we got how is brain protected. The layers of the brain is called as meninges. Brain is protected by a 3 layers which are called meninges ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, and it is cushioned by a fluid which is called as CSF or cerebrospinal fluid. Yes. So now let me ask the question, who is going to tell the parts of forebrain? Forebrain na parts yaudu? Yes, who is going to respond soon? Be fast guys. Which are the parts of forebrain? You can tell me the answer in the chat box or else in through the mic. Very good. Panchami answered it. Cerebrum, thalamus and the hypothalamus. Good. Then what is the function of cerebellum? Hindbrain na part cerebellum na function eno? What is the function of cerebellum? All of you should respond, otherwise individually I will ask the questions.
Ma'am, it coordinates muscular activities and maintains the posture of the body.
Okay, it maintains the posture and balance of the body. Good. Then, yeah. Which part of our brain controls involuntary actions? Involuntary actions anna control mado part yaudu? Shreya, you answer this question. Which part of the brain controls involuntary actions? Very good. Medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. Fine. Now, let us proceed further. How does the nervous tissue cause action? So, nerve impulse reaches the muscle fiber must move. The muscle cells will move by changing their shape so that they shorten. So, here they are discussing how our nervous tissue will bring about the action. So, yavaga nama signal lo will reach that muscle, no, our muscle fiber, the muscle cells will be like a fiber, elongated like this. So, they will change their shape so that they will shorten. Muscle cells have a special protein that change both their shape and their arrangement in the cell in response to nervous electrical impulses. When this happens, new arrangement of these proteins give muscle cells a shorter form. So for example, if something hot I am touching means, ಈ ರೀತಿ ನನ್ನ muscles ಇದೆ, it has to do like this, right? It has to fold. So ಇದು ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ? It is by a special protein released by the muscle cells. Okay, next we have reflex action anta. What do you mean by reflex action? It is a sudden and involuntary response to stimuli. Sudden agi react agodakke without our control, involuntary response to stimuli. Andre response is not in our control, suddenly we react. So that is called as reflex action. It helps organism to quickly adapt to an adverse circumstance that could have the potential to cause bodily harm or even death. Pulling our hands away immediately after touching a hot or a cold object. So after touching hot or cold, immediately now remove ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? This is a reflex action. So voluntarily if you remove, sudden ಆಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ, sudden ಆಗಿ you will remove na. So that is involuntary action which without knowing you will do. Okay, this is called sudden and involuntary response to stimuli. See here, this is a hot pot. This is a receptor, the skin. So your skin sensory neuron is taking the information that the pot is hot. Motor neuron is telling you, is making you to take off your hand. So the arc is formed. ಈ ರೀತಿ arc form ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So this is called as reflex arc. The pathway taken by a stimulus to travel from receptor organ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳತ್ತೆ, to effector organ which will affect, right? ಸೊ ಆ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ಇಂದ ಈ ಆರ್ಗನ್ ವರ್ಗು ಒಂದು ಪಾತ್ವೇ, ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಆರ್ಕ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಕ್. ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ. ಫೈನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್. ನೌ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದ ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಬ್ರೈನ್. ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೋದು, ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯು ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್. Write the heading structure of a brain and write down this point. Forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Okay. After that, write down like this. Forebrain anta barudu. It has cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. What is the function of it? Function ಏನು forebrain ದು? If you write like this flow chart na, you can easily read. Function ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Thinking and for voluntary actions. If you write a shortcut na, you will understand. Thinking and voluntary actions. Write like this. If you don't understand anything, let me know guys. Be fast. Forebrain ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿವೆ? 3 parts. Cerebrum, thalamus, hypothalamus. Function ಏನು? Thinking and voluntary actions. Parts should be written on the sides. Function should be taken from the center. ಈ ರೀತಿ arrow mark ಹಾಕಿ. So that above you write function. ಇದು function ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Okay, Rihan completed. What about others? Two girls? Completed all of you? Panchami and Shreya? Fine. Shreya completed. Next we have forebrain ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ mid brain ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? Panchami completed? Fine. Next. Just a minute. Next we have forebrain ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದರದಾಯ್ತು mid brain. Okay. So mid brain ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು just write like this. Mid brain ಅಂತ ಬರೆದು controls, sorry, one ನಿಮಿಷ. Mid brain connects fore and hind brain. Write down simultaneously. Fore and hind brain connects fore and hind brain associated with motor control like vision, hearing, temperature, etc. Connects fore and hind brain associated with motor control like vision, control, hearing, temperature, regulation, alertness, etc. Completed, guys? Okay. What about Shreya and Panchami? Fine. Next. Shreya, did you complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next, hind brain. All of you write down hind brain. So hind brain alli ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Just write down like this. Hind brain. Hind brain. So it has cerebellum, pons, medulla oblongata. Cerebellum, pons, medulla oblongata. So cerebellum ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Posture and balance. Posture and balance. If you don't understand, just let me know. Medulla oblongata ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Involuntary actions. Medulla oblongata ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Involuntary actions. Cerebellum, posture and balance. Medulla oblongata, involuntary actions. Guys, did they announce regarding the midterm exam date? Shreya said me regarding it is on October 9th anta. Rihan, what about in your school? Midterm ಯಾವಾಗ tentatively it may happen ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗಬಹುದು? Panchami also said in the month of October something. September 27 you have midterm. Okay. Fine. 27 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 6, so 6 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 14. Fine. Okay, Rihan. Completed writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about Shreya and Rihan?
Yes.
Completed, ma'am.
Fine. Next point you write, this point you write. Protected till meninges, the brain is protected. 2 points. Be fast. This point and this point. Brain is protected by the bones of the skull and by a covering of three thin membranes called meninges. Underlying meninges, the brain is also cushioned and protected by cerebrospinal fluid. Rihan completed. What about others?
Completed, ma'am.
Fine. Shreya?
Completed, ma'am.
Put the heading reflex action and write these 3 points. This is an example. Pulling our hands. These 3 points you write down. Be fast. Completed?
finished, ma'am.
Okay, what about others? Panchami and Shreya?
Completed, ma'am.
Okay. Panchami? Next, both of you put the heading as reflex arc. Next heading reflex arc anta. Panchami, did you complete? Panchami, did you complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next one, put the heading reflex arc. The pathway taken by a stimulus to travel from the receptor organ. So that whole thing you write, not a diagram. The definition you write. The pathway taken by a stimulus to travel from receptor organ to effector organ is called reflex arc. You write. Okay. Rihan completed. What about others? Okay. Panchami done. What about Shreya? Okay. So this is regarding the nervous system. In the next session, we are going to solve regarding endocrine glands. ಇದು ಒಂದೇ session ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ endocrine glands. And then coordination in plants. So all this we are going to discuss in the next session. Okay. Let me meet you all in the next session. Until that, take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.